be, you yourself want to be treated good, so treat your supervisors good also. So in my how I not to say manage is very no manage my supervisors. Normally, first I can say I am the one who will take an initiative to set up a meeting. Every month I will initiate a monthly meeting with my supervisors. That's the first thing I did. And we strive open communication. I think I said I love my supervisors. I have an opposite gender supervisors. Both of my supervisors are male. I am female. So I am purposely choose as different or opposite gender as compared to me.
So that's very interesting,
Yes.
Doctor. What was the reason behind it?
Because woman, I mean myself as a woman, I have my own emotional, as a
The mood
woman,
swings
yeah,
and all, yes.
I need a person or the supervisors that can neutralize the things, very calm, so that's why I am purposely choose my supervisor from different gender. That's my first thing, because I know myself. I have a mood swing, like you say, because sometimes you jungle here your families, your work, and if your supervisors cannot neutralize your emotions, it's very difficult for me. So
Yeah.
that's the first thing why I choose my supervisors. Okay, back to your questions. Just a sharing, probably here there are a number of students. Punctuality is the key also for your supervisors. You must be very punctual with your supervisors whenever you want to meet them. And this is my tricks, how I manage my supervisor. Normally when I text my supervisors, I will never ever text him with Assalamualaikum doctor, are you free? When is your free time? I never use that kind of stammer. When is your free time? If your supervisor texts you back and said, Salam, I'm free now. And meanwhile, you are still at home without, you're not prepared. So the best questions in every time I text my supervisor, I will say, Assalamualaikum doctor, are you free tomorrow at 3 p.m.? I straight away state my time, straight the day when I want to meet, so straight away put that, because that's how you manage your supervisor's time. You give straight away the time to him that I want to meet you at this time. So are you free or not? If there is a student in here, I'm sure try to adjust how you your text to your supervisors. And then be yourself. Be yourself is the most important thing for me. I think for all of you, if you whatever you want, you just go for open discussion. I'm sure when you talk with your supervisors, everything is very open. Nothing to hide, nothing to be shy. That's your supervisors. Your marks is under their head. So try to be good, be yourself. So that's Madam Farah.
Yes, Farah, yes. All right. So punctuality, and also I think most important thing is to respect your supervisor, regardless of whatever he or she have on you. It's really important because they are our teacher, candle, light of candle during your years in the dark tunnel, I believe.
Yes.
All right. So okay. So so Dr. Azwa, okay, you were talking about goal just now. A goal. You have to work, and when you're working, you have to have a goal. All right. So it is very astonishing to me to know that you have been listed as a world top 2% scientist for twice. From Elsevier Stanford University. One in 2020 and another one in 2019. I mean, that is really astounding. So do you mind to share how do you going through the process, what make you eligible for it, and how do you qualify for it? Can please share your experience on that, Doctor?
All right. Okay. So thank you so much for the question. So basically, the news that when I was knowing that I am being listed as the top 2% scientist from Elsevier, BC, and Stanford University for 2 times in a row, in 2019 and 2020. Okay, all right. So of course, the feel is like, yes, I did it, something like that, if because of what? Because it basically when I read through the how my name has been listed in that list is because of the impact of the research. Okay, so they evaluating based on impact of the research, citation, and so on. Okay, so I do believe that because of my work during my master's and also my PhD work, so it's very correlated to each other. So that bring me become one of the top 2% scientists in the world. So yes, of course, when that is actually for me is my personal highest achievement, actually, if I to share with you. So I think but I don't satisfied yet with myself. Okay,
What was the reason? Well, why?
yeah, because I feel that I know myself, and then sometimes I feel like I don't deserve to be listed in that but it is actually good for me, good my profile, good my personal profile and so on. And then actually I think why I did listed in that to top 2% scientists in the world, because of my determination and also my persistence during what I did during my postgraduate studies. Because I have a goal. Like I said previously, I've been awarded as a Pro Chancellor Award. Why during my doctoral study? Is it possible I get the same award, something like that? Yeah, I think yes, I can do it. Okay, so I do have I'm confident in myself to work on the goal that I want. Okay, along the way, there is it's like when we're working, it's like a career development. So when we do our postgraduate study, we are developing ourselves to be a new person. Okay, you get what I mean? So we train ourselves to be a new version of us,
A new
so
and better, I believe.
yes, something like that. So that is our challenge. We are fighting with ourselves, actually. It's not with others.
Yeah.
You fight with yourself. You want to be a better person of you. At the end of the PhD or whatever you do, of course you need to have certain achievement, or of course you have a different version of you in different level. Okay, so that is the thing that I always challenge myself to be a better person, all over and over. That's why I told you that I am not satisfied yet what I have done, what I've received or recognized for, but I think I can gain more from that until at the end of my life, yeah. So the thing is, again, it is have to be a lot of hard work, determination, and persistence. If you want to, because for me, success is a journey, it's not a destination. So we have a journey, sometimes we have, because like I said, maybe you say, oh, Dr. Azhar, you already successful. But for me, no, it's still journey. So success is very subjective word for me. So that's why I'm not feel satisfied yet what I have gained or get today, nowadays, and so on. I think I have a room of improvement to improve me to be a better person, in the time come forward. Yeah.
So being I mean that you challenge yourself in every step of your way is really important. I mean, like thank you, Dr. Azwar, for that input. For Dr. Yo, I mean, your CV is really wow me, because you did your bachelor with a 3.9 CGPA. That is really, really good. And you straight away doing your PhD, is it? Right? And then, you have published 12 or 13 papers along the way, Doctor?
Yeah, 14. 14.
So from
14.
from a bachelor student, a graduated bachelor
Oh.
students, to jump into a research students, that is really a big leap. So how do you manage doing 13 papers in in those years, and also you have published a lot of paper, and now you are a reviewer in MGMS, okay, and can you share your tips, for when you're being a writer and now you are a reviewer? Can you share your tips for a good articles and some insights as a reviewer, Doctor?
Thank you, Farah. So actually, after I finished my degree, I actually registered as a master student. Okay, and then I'm not a fast track PhD. And then during that time, for UKM, our criteria to convert from master to PhD, we have to publish papers. So that's the thing that my supervisor, Prof. Susanna, told me. So I have to force myself. If I want to convert from master to PhD, I have to publish at least one paper. From that time, because my undergrad thesis was did it in a group, but not a personal, and then I did qualitative study. I'm not quantitative study. So I'm not so familiar with the SPSS or those kind of things. But I take this opportunity to learn, because UKM, for the first semester when you registered, you have to register a research methodology class. So during that time, refresh all my theory skills, and then how do I employ all these skills in my study and so on, and then try to ask my seniors, discuss with my seniors and supervisor whether I did the analysis correct or not. So all of these things we have to be more proactive to learn the new skills. Okay, after I converted, I successfully published my first paper. I still remember my first paper is a review paper. And then that review paper, from the first time I met my supervisor and asked her to review, to check my manuscript, that's all. I think almost every pages are red in color. So like the teacher marked the student paper. So almost all the lines are red color. So that time was very demotivated. I think I'm not a good writer. Okay, so but because we write the article, it's not like we write an essay. So it's not the karangan or the essay you wrote it during your secondary school. So now there is a skill you need to be trained and to produce a good article. So after that, I try to revise my manuscript based on my supervisor comments. I think I use up to around 1 month to correct all the things. And then after the second time, when I submit to her again, and then it maybe left only 10% that I need to correct. So there is tips. Is there any tips for me to train myself to produce a good article? I think I'm not really a good writer, a mature writer. But then according to my experience, actually health science is you want to produce an article, you might have problems, because you have to data collection, you have to ready data, and then you publish your results data and so on. So it comes to like now is a pandemic time. So many people might have the challenges in the data collection and so on. But during this time, maybe you can try to do some systematic review articles, to polish up your literature review and so on. So you can try to discuss with your supervisor and so on to produce this kind of articles. Okay, so and then for the reviewer part, okay, so I feel thankful to the journal that give me opportunity to review their articles. Frankly speaking, actually I'm still learning. I think I'm not a mature reviewer, But I learned, actually, I also learned the reviewing skills from the reviewers that review my articles. Basically, all my articles, although I publish around 13, 14 articles, but I still not yet like 100% perfect for my articles. So that's definitely got some limitation, got some comments from the reviewers to improve your manuscript. But doesn't matter, you take it as the learning part for you to improve your writing skill and so on. So every of my articles will receive many comments, right? Okay, so I will try to digest it and what they expect and comments and try to improve it. And the same thing goes to when I am a reviewer. I will read and understand what they are trying to report and discuss. What are the impact of their research that Dr. Azua mentioned just now. So this is very important. Okay, so what are the info that needed to be included and so on. So I have actually, when I review the article, actually I have a checklist, okay, from introduction, from abstract until conclusion. So what are the main things that you need to include in your manuscript and so on. So for example, like introduction, they must have a good flow, discuss the problems until the gaps, okay, of the research and so on. And you need to state the objective of your research, okay, and etc. And then for the methods, maybe you might have to write the study design, okay, participant criteria, data collection process, and okay, tools that you use and so on and so forth. Okay, so if they didn't meet the criteria in my checklist, so I might give some comments to improve their manuscript. Okay, so actually I'm still learning to be an experienced reviewer because I'm still new to the research field, but hopefully I think I will be a great reviewer and you also will be a good writer and a good reviewer in future.
Right. So for when we're talking about writing and articles, for a new postgrad students, where do we start? I mean, like, should we aim for a Q1, Q2, or should we start low and then we go build the pathways? So what is your view on that, Doctor?
So to be a researcher, we have to be ambitious actually. So for my first paper, I'm not a really high impact, maybe just Q3. And then after that, my supervisor motivated me to publish in Q1. So that time, definitely I'll be very stressed because that's only my second paper. How to aim to publish in Q1 is definitely impossible for me, right? So that time I read a lot how the Q1 people Q1 paper expectation. So means that when you want to publish Q1 paper, you go to their journal and read their articles actually. So is it because of the sample size? Is it their writing skill? And then the flow and the impact of the research is very important because the journal, high impact journal, they will only accept those articles with high impact. So for example, my study is at RCT, a randomized control trial of looking at the ulam raja and so on. But in other parts of the world that don't have this kind of ulam, for example, so they are very interested and kind to my research to see what actually the result is. So maybe from that part, you try to read more and then you apply their writing skill in your research, because I think most of our research every of our research are novel, new to this world. So see how you write, the writing skill is very important. So from first, I train myself is to read. You must read and refer those high impact articles, how they wrote their articles. So that time you apply their writing skill in your manuscript. And then discuss with your supervisor. They will give comments because I guess all your supervisor might be very experienced in publishing many high impact articles. So they are your guidance, they are your mentor. Try to seek for their help to comment on the articles. So don't feel demotivated when you get a lot of comments. It's very good to get all those comments, because these comments can improve your manuscript until when you submit to the journal, you will maybe get a very little comments, a very minor correction. After that, you will get accepted for your paper. So you can go and celebrate. So this is the thing. Another I want to share, another thing is not only you want to publish your article, you want to go in depth to learn more about on your research. You have to attend a few conference, especially international conference. So now is during pandemic, there are a lot of online conference. So like colloquium and so on. So you will learn a lot of skill and exchange ideas between researchers. So from that time, you also can present your research. During the presentation, I think most of us scared of the Q&A session, definitely, because Q&A session you might worry that, oh, when they ask me, I don't know how to answer. So but
Especially
never
when
mind.
when the expert in the field
Yes,
ask you a particular questions that
correct.
you ever think about. How do you manage that, doctor? How do you respond to
So
those kind
yeah,
of questions?
so if that question is like your viva, actually it train you to ready for your viva. For example, before my viva, I already attended around 7 to 8 conferences, so to train me before my viva, because supervisor and me already know much on my study. So they maybe might not have any question already for my research. I think it's already perfect. But for other people, when they listen, especially like Farah mentioned, is an expert in this area and ask you the question, and then you might don't know how to answer. But it's okay. You just let them know that you have to go back and read and to find out more. And then this one is a preparation for you to ready for your viva. That's why during that time when I get all those questions, some I can answer and then some I couldn't answer. But the couldn't answer part doesn't mean that you are failure. You are a failure. Okay. But then you take these comments, all of these questions, and then you improve your thesis or your articles. And then during your viva time, I think most of the people already don't have this problem. So that's why that's the opportunity drive me to get the excellent thesis. So everyone also have a chance to get this excellent thesis. I think everyone also can, but then you have to train yourself. You have to be disciplined. You have to be proactive. Like Dr. Azua mentioned just now, we are a researcher. We have to and also Dr. Siti mentioned, you have to be more disciplined and then try to proactive, take initiative to ask your supervisor, not the supervisor ask you. You have to take this opportunity to learn during your PhD. That's why after that you will become a successful one.
I see. Cute. So you mentioned just now, Doctor, you mentioned about thesis writing, right? So it is one of the important criteria to be graduated apart from publishing papers.
Correct.
So Dr. Siti, in your experience, what is the best time you do your thesis writing? How do you manage writing your thesis? I mean, it is, for me personally, it is the hardest part. I like doing research, I like writings, but the thesis part is a bit, so how do you keep yourself motivated all the time? And how many drafts have you submitted to supervisor, please share, Dr. Siti.
Okay, it is, Madam Farah, is the hardest part is the writing session. I think writing, everyone on postgraduate will experience, maybe I don't know others, but for me writing is the hardest part. But to tell the truth, to be frank with everyone here, I am not someone that really focus on my thesis when I don't have the raw coming, the raw, the whatever coming to me. I cannot write. I just close my thesis and do something else. I think I like the point by Dr. Ban. What I did when I can't write at that moment, I go to do something else. Like I write an article. I do for conferences. I make some innovation products or whatever. I distract my mind, not only focus on it, because if you stuck, you have no point to just sit there and look into your thesis without doing nothing. You need to do something else. And then when the things come, the ideas come, and then it's very fast after that, But then if you ask me about when is the best time for me, I am a morning person. My time is around 10 to 12, only 2 hours. That's my effective period, my effective hours for studying. after 12, my mind, what I want to eat today, what I have to do today, because I have family. When I did my PhD, I have two toddlers, two kids, two kids.
That
Very
is
small,
already quite challenging having two
quite
daughters.
challenging.
Yeah.
Two kids. I enrolled in 2016 September. I have one 5-month-old baby, 5 months old. And then next year, I have another one more. So I have two during my PhD. So the struggle is different, but I can consider it as a battle of movement. Just enjoy your study period. Okay, you yourself have to know how to manage the time. So at the morning, what time you have to wake up, when you want to focus on the studies, when you have to go to sleep. And for your information, I never stay up. I never ever stay up. I sleep exactly at 8:30 or 9. I fall to sleep already. But tomorrow and the next day I will wake up at 5, 5:30. That's the routine until today. My kids will sleep at 8 p.m. and that is discipline. 8, you have to go to sleep, whatever it is. So I need also my time, a me time for me. Whatever I want to do, watching TV or whatever. So that's my thing. So to answer your question just now, again, I'm a morning person, but it's up to everyone, experience, because you can listen to us, all the panels here, but you yourself know yourself. You know yourself. You know when is the best effective writing time for you. But for me, if you want to ask my experience, mine is 10 to 12 only. 2 hours for the writing. I don't have much time because my mind or my brain cannot work more than 2 hours. That's all, Madam Farah.
But you managed to get a gold award. That is really
Alhamdulillah. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
So talking about Dr. Siti experience having two kids and a family and finish up a thesis. I'm not sure about Dr. Azwa. Are you a family? Have you have a family, or are you a maybe you can share your experience?
All right, all
You
right.
know,
Okay, so
so perhaps we have participants that are single and juggling their PhD and also a family PhD student. So
all
different.
right.
Yeah. Please,
Okay.
Doctor.
So to be honest with you all, I am single but not available. All right. Okay. So actually, I want to add a bit based on Dr. Ben just now. I think it's quite interesting because we have the same tips actually. We have a same model of operandi how we excel our PhD journey. For example, in publication. So the word is ambitious. Yes, I am ambitious. Because of what? Because during my PhD, I set my goal. I want to be published at least 12 Q1 papers only. Okay,
Wow,
Q1 only. Q1 only. Okay. So and then Alhamdulillah, I managed to publish 9 Q1 as a first author, and then four Q1 as a co-authors with my lab mate. So surprisingly, I also become more ambitious after my first paper published and Q1. I set my goal. I want to publish in top 10% journal only. So this is the thing that I think it is no harm for us to be ambitious, because this is because we are challenging ourselves. Okay, like myself, like Dr. Ben mentioned, read from the top journal, high impact journal. So for myself, I set a paper for me. I just only read paper impact factor 5 and above. Below than that, no, I didn't read. I put high standard because I want to be a good researcher. So I need to be up a good profile, and then I didn't bother to publish at the lower rank journal, something like that, because I want to be a very top researcher. The thing is, I try to challenge myself. to be a part of a top 2% scientists.
And you are already is.
Yeah, you know, so I think it is interesting because Ben and I have
Similar
same,
traits.
yeah,
Yeah.
same method. So I do
Yes.
believe that this method has been proven by us, KB5, Dr. Ben. All right. So I think all of the audience here, because the method have been proven. Okay, so I think you can try that method.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself. That's all.
Aim for the higher.
Yes, no harm.
No, yeah. So that's how you progress, you know, aim. And what if you aim higher, but you you find yourself do not meet your expectation? How do you manage emotionally?
All right.
Doctor?
Basically, yeah, I do have some sort of thing, before that. But I think I do have a very good self-motivation person, I motivate myself. And during my PhD, I'm very independent. My supervisor is very happy because I don't bother them, so they are lucky having me as their student. So okay, Zua, I know you can do it. Okay, I just if you have anything, just very minor sometimes, they are very happy with me. So because of I am very self-motivated person. So sometimes when I didn't get what I want, yeah, of course we have human being. We have such heart,
Ups and down.
yeah, up and down. Yeah, like a roller coaster. Again, I don't bother. For example, I got rejection. Sometimes people got rejection, they need to have 1 month to recover themselves. And then they need to go to island. They need to go to abroad, something like that. But for me, if I got rejected today I rewrite and polishing my manuscript. And then it's possible today again, I submitted to another journal. Yeah, this is how I work. This is how determined I am. Because I challenge myself. Okay, if the reviewer saying that, oh, your paper is not good, okay, I will prove it. My paper will be published, and then you will read my paper. So I have something like in myself, which is always self-motivate me, because I don't bother to have, okay, could you please help me, blah blah blah. No, because if you got from somewhere else, actually, if you yourself not willing to change, is doesn't mean. And then your friend or your supervisor just blah 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 advise you to do this. And if you cannot absorb, and then you don't want to feel to change yourself, it doesn't work. So it starts from you, from us, from ourselves. So if you don't start, if we have a Nobel laureate give advice to us, but if you cannot cannot apply, and they cannot change yourself. Even we have top researcher, Nobel laureate, you make friends with Nobel laureate, but if you don't change yourself, it's like it's nothing you can be done, but only yourself.
All right. Great. That's thank you, Dr. Azwar. So I have one last questions to Dr. Ben. So so how do you, I mean, like during the past 2 years was devastated because of this COVID pandemic, and it affected some of our some of my friends, and postgrad students. So I mean, like what is the challenge? If you I don't know whether you have challenge during this COVID, but what can you say to all of us here, that have put on hold because of this pandemic, Doctor?
Okay. Yeah, I would say this pandemic already hits a lot of postgraduate students.
Especially us in the health sciences,
Yeah,
which we need
yeah,
to go
agree.
to clinical and so on. So
Correct.
Yeah.
I am also from health science. I understand. But fortunately for my PhD, I would like to share a little bit on my experience before pandemic. So actually I finished my randomized control trial in December before COVID, December 2019. But I don't know why I got some instinct that that something will be happen. All right. And then during that time, I fall sick, but not COVID. It's like fall sick because of I'm too tired, and because I'm myself only conduct the RCT, and then I want to send the bloods, and then I want to do the data collection, everything. I think Fatin and my colleagues know about my process. So during that time, I still remember the last day, the final day of my data collection, I fall sick with temperature around 38.9. That time is a very high fever. And then I still spoke to my sister that I want to finish it on that day, because you know why? Because we want to make the appointment with the our subjects. So if we cancel the appointment and then we need to reschedule again. But I got some instinct that something will happen in 2020 that time. So I spoke to my sister that I want to go for my data collection, even though I got high fever, but I wear masks and do all those SOP and so on. But that time still not yet COVID. And then after that, I finished my data collection. I straight away admit to the hospital. And then, on the IV drip and so on. So that's definitely, I think, means that a very memorable experience for my, final stage of my PhD. But luckily, after that, for my January, February, and March, I try myself to finish up the thesis writing. Like Dr. Siti mentioned just now, she is a morning person. I am a night person. So because I took my STPM during last time when I was in secondary school. So that time already trained me. I woke up at midnight and study. So now I'm a night person. So my brain will be more active during night. So I will write my thesis because night will be very calm, will be very quiet. So no people will, the buzzing and to annoying me and so on. So I can be more concentrated and write. And then after that, during March, I already sent my first draft. And then during that time, our first MCO already started. And then that time, I still struggling in my thesis writing because, stay at home, you can't go outside. So you cannot, you have to focus on your study. So on your thesis writing. So it's very difficult for me and struggle every time. But like Dr. Azua mentioned just now, we must have a goal. The goal is to push me because I received the UKM Zamala Yayasan Chancellor. So this scholarship is like every semester you have to present your progress. You have to, at least publish one paper and so on to push you. So that time I was very scared because that semester my progress is for data collection only. So I just have one paper, but that paper is not Q1 or Q2. It's like around Q3 and so on. So that time I spoke to the person that actually my progress is the data collection, because health science might different with other faculty that because we need to focus our time, to spend our time in the data collection and so on. So that time I spoke to the person and the person agreed that my progress, I satisfied with my progress, so that I continue for my scholarship. So that time I pushed myself because they asked me to promise them to grad on time. So that's my goal. So when you have a goal, definitely you just go with your goals. Every day, maybe write one paragraph also is enough for you to achieve the goal. So that's go for that. So during weekend, I will off my laptop and then go and watch TV and then interact with my siblings and so on, but no go out because MCO time you can't go out, right? So that's very difficult time for me during the thesis writing part, because the thesis writing you have to sit and focus and then you write and then you send the draft to the supervisor. So the challenges for now postgrad student might be the data collection part. So maybe you can, during this time, if the data collection part, you have to meet the clients, you have to meet the patient in the physical way. So you have to, now you can't do it. You just, like I say, polish your writing skill, read more papers and journals, do some, publish some articles for the systematic reviews, or, the scoping reviews, or ask your supervisor, do you have any ideas for my research can publish, okay, the protocol paper and so on. So take this opportunity to do other things, but not just sit down and do nothing. So that's not a good way to stop. And then the other way, maybe you can discuss with your research team whether we can change the way how we collection, data collection. So means that now the technology already very very good, and then you can advance, and then you can use Google Meet or whatever to record it, and then to collect the data. Definitely there's still some limitation for the the physical data collection and also the virtual data collection, I would say. But then that's the only choice. That's the only choice what we can do now. Yeah,
You have to adapt with the situations in order to
correct.
Regardless.
But hopefully now it's getting better, right, for the pandemic. So hopefully everyone will go on track and then continue your journey until you finish it.
All right. So so all of you or all of our panels today are working as an academic, Dr. Azwa, Dr. Ben, and Dr. Siti. So I have just a short answer from all of you. But if you are not in academia, what will you be in your career pathway, Dr. Azwa? Will you be a scientist or in a top-notch research center? And what will you be if you're not in academia?
All right. To be honest with you, actually, I have been working with industry, even not related to my field. For example, I start my working experience with Astro. I am a chemistry background, so how chemistry can
is that relatable?
Yes. And then apart from that, I got a position in paint manufacturing, yes, related to my field. But during that time, I don't feel that myself in that particular journey or career. Okay, because of what? Because I do believe that I am born to be scientist, maybe. So if I not to be academia, I will be a scientist. Maybe I set up my own company based on scientific product and something like that. So like recruiting a PhD holder, a PhD holder to work with me. I because based on my project, because anything that we do in our research can be turned into business, right? So of course, if I can't be in academia, I think I will set up my business based on my research. Yeah, so are we recruiting a PhD holder? Because PhD holder right nowadays is very hard to get job. So basically, most of the time they are looking for academic position, but academic position is very limited. Okay, so my advice to my adik or maybe in the audience, don't be afraid. Okay, because of what? Because you need to think that nowadays we are training to be business oriented scientists. Okay, so if you have a goal, like I say, you have a goal, like say your future, maybe you can turn in your research into business.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So like a produce a product and so on. So a consultation company, something like that. You can make money and so on. So but the thing is, di mana ada kemahuan, di situ ada jalan. Okay.
How about you, Dr. Ben? What will you be?
All right. So to be honest, I will become a teacher because I like education. So if I'm not an academician for university, so I will go back for pre-U or maybe metric or whatever to, to go back education. Because since before, I think you read my CV, right? So before that, actually, I was a Guru Gandhi for a few times. So because I like teaching, and then after that, I take this opportunity and then to train myself to be a teacher. So if I'm not a lecturer, so maybe I will go back to become a teacher. But for advice, like Dr. Azua said, now is a very competitive one. Okay, I don't know what is the criteria to become a lecturer. I just know that now is a very competitive one. So if you want to become a lecturer, if you dream to become an academician, the first thing, especially for research university, you have to polish up your publication. Means that you have to publish more and more. I don't know how many. For me, maybe for my time, they accepted me as 14 papers is enough to become a lecturer. But I don't know, every field is different. Like from biomed, they might more competitive. Like Dr. Azua and Dr. Siti might be different. So, but then you just have a goal that if you want to become an academician, you try to publish more papers and then try to, attend all the conference to build out your network and so on. And then the second thing is, if you can't get the position for academician, but don't worry, you just train yourself, you just apply some postdoctoralship, okay, the postdoctoral fellow from overseas or in Malaysia for other university or in UKM, to train yourself to, to polish up your research skill and your publication and so on. So in future, if there is open for a vacancy, definitely you will be better from others. So this is maybe the tips for me for if you want to become an academician. All right.
Right. Dr. Siti, one last word.
Previously, before I'm academician, I'm in industry for 3 years, being in the marketing department, because my degree is in marketing. Only my master's and my PhD is in entrepreneurship. Yeah, I'm entrepreneurship person. Because I don't talk too much. I go for an action, because if you can see me, I'm not someone who really talks a lot, because I'm very
I
small.
can see that.
Yeah, I don't talk much. I have a small circle of friends, So like your question just now, what I would be if I'm not an academician, probably I go into my area in marketing, because I have 3 years experience working with an international company. The 3 years I was in Indonesia. The 3 years I was in Indonesia. So I went back further my master's and PhD and joining the institution today. So all the best to all participants today, and I wish you all the best. No worries. Just enjoy your life in your postgraduate studies. And the most important thing is don't fall too sick. Just enjoy. Don't be stressed. That's the most important thing. There's no point of gaining your PhD if you're sick. So just enjoy. Live your life to the fullest. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Azwa, Dr. Ben, and Dr. Siti. I now open for a Q&A session. I believe Prof. Balkis is ready to ask a few questions or something, or to all other participants. Do you have any questions to our panel? Are you seeking advice? Your personal advice from them, or you have some tips that you want to ask them that I might have missed during this forum? So yeah, I open the Q&A sessions to all our participants. So is there any questions that you want to ask Dr. Azwa, Dr. Ben, and Dr. Siti?
Farah, I'm Arimi here. I would like to ask the Dr. Siti from UiTM. I really like your productive hours, like 2 hours and beyond 12, because I kind of have similar timing. Before almost 12, my mind is gone. Dr. Siti, you were from academic, right? Before you embark on your PhD. You've been teaching for quite some times, and then I'm sure you have been supervising students as well before you embark on your PhD. Perhaps some of our audience here today came from the same pathway as you did. Being teaching, being academic before, being a staff, being a lecturers before being a student, back to being a student. So if you could share your experience, how did you manage to retune yourself as an academic, where back in your ITM before you do a PhD, everything's like easy for you because you have access here and there, and then you become a PhD students, and everything's whatever the fault is not gonna is gonna be on you. It's not gonna be on the administration and all. So, how do you manage yourself to retune your thinking and your mind that you are a student now? No, you are no longer an academic for that period of time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that questions. Firstly, it's quite difficult. First, everything on the first part is very difficult. But then, what I did, this is what I did. Okay, my experience. Whenever I entered the UKM gate, I just pull everything, my position, my whatever I have at my own organization. Whenever I entered, so that's maybe can lower your ego. That can lower your ego, because for your information, both of my supervisors, my first and my co-supervisors, I am the first child, the firstborn. Both are only doctors, no associate professors, no professors. Both are. I mean, I am the first child. I can say that. So both of them gained the associate professors because graduating me. So that's the first thing. What I can say about my supervisors. Okay. Like I said, you need to lower your ego. You need to lower your ego. You need to leave whatever position you have at your organization, so that you come to universities. You ask yourself, I come to this institution as a student, or I come to this institution as a lecturer or as an auditor. If you come as a student, act like one. You must act like one. You always need to remember that you need to respect everybody. My supervisor's age gap is only 1 or 2 years as compared with me. So how am I supposed to go for that particular respect? So I need to have some respect on my supervisors. It's just 1 or 2 years older than me. But then that's what I did. I always respect my supervisors. When I work, I work. That's another part. But when I was as a student, act like as a student. You need to go for supervisors. You need to search their help. You need to go to the library. You need to even I wear something like a student's wearing. I just even go for the backpack and no accessories and so forth. So I tune myself as a student when I entered the gate. So I never dress up like a lecturer when I went to UKM for my advisory moment. And then that's why I enjoy. That's how I tune in. To lower your ego, you need yourself to ask yourself, I entered the gate as a student, or I entered the gate as someone else. So probably it can help you. Inshallah, it will help you. Inshallah. Yeah, thank you.
Well, so it's about tuning yourself, enjoy the moment, and put down your ego, regardless who you are. You might be a CEO of a company, but when you continue to do your PhD, you have to put down your CEO ego or whatever, because you are a student now and respect whoever advising you or supervisor. All right, so I open any questions. If you have any questions, you can send your question to our chat box, so I can read it to our participants. All right, Prof, you have a question? So anyone?
Can I ask?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm Balkis, Dayang Balkis from HK, FSK, but I'm not the Prof. Balkis at FSK anyway. My question is actually for Dr. Dalila and the rest as well. Actually, I'm quite doubtful and very inconvenienced with your 2 hours study time daily, because I'm more or less like you. I'm an early person, but I think that 2 to 3 hours a day is not enough for us as a PhD candidate. Frankly speaking, I will fall asleep after lunch with my baby, especially that is my main excuse. And it's hard for me to study at night as well. So the only time frame that I have early in the morning before subuh and before noon. So I just want to learn from you, what is the a very like quick or like a jackpot for you to grasp everything in a very short time of PhD journey. Thank you. I think this is for all as well.
Yes. Yes, please, Doctor. What is your tips to share?
All right. The 2 hours, I didn't do 2 hours for a week. I just focused like 3 days. I mean, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, for example, because my schedule will change, not because I'm not a consistent person. Consistency is very hard, you know. But then 2 hours, I really spend. If I want, I have to force myself to write. You need to force. You know that I'm not sure doctors or all the audience facing the same thing. But then for me, I need to force myself. Force yourself to write. If you know that your difficulties is in writing, you know, I open folders. I open so much file, and I have 2 monitors for your information. I have 2 monitors when I study, one laptop, one desktop. I open 2. The laptop is used for writing, and then the desktop is for the articles. So I open so much files, you know, so many files. I open at one point, and then I remember what I did. I open so many, and then I write. So you don't have to worry about your English. You don't have to worry about, but you have to write. Write it. Force yourself to write whenever the time, because you need to set a goal. Like both of our honorable panelists, both are very ambitious, is very goal oriented. But like me, I just set 2 hours a day, as long as it's an effective ways, and then it's okay already, because not all the time you have to focus on your disease. You can do something else. Okay, but myself, just 2 hours is very effective for me on whatever, either on writing my thesis. I only spend for 2 hours, only 2 hours, and then sometimes only 3 days, 2 hours. The rest, I did other things. I did articles writing is much more easier as compared to thesis writing. Okay, article writing, I do go for conferences. I attended more than 10 conferences just to get more feedback. Like Dr. Azwa and Dr. Ben said, attending conferences is very, very good, because you know the audience feedback. That's how I tackle all the questions. I jot down, I listed. Even now, I still have my copies of conference 1 I attended. What is the questions? But you need to choose a good conferences. You know, you need to choose a good conference, so that the conference you can give you more feedback. So every feedback I jot down, and I see back, and I look back at my thesis. So that's what I did. So I look back at my thesis. Okay, this conference one asking me about A, B, C, and D. So is there anything in my thesis I jot it down, or is the feedback I already answered in my thesis or not? So that's how I work. That's why I think conferences is very, very important for every postgraduate students. Okay, attending conferences, writing articles also, like Dr. Azwan, Dr. Ben. I also only read the Q1, Q2 journals only. I don't go for others because it's different way of the style, the language is very difficult. It's very different. I'm sorry. For Q1, it's very easy. The words, the sentences is very straightforward. If you go for other another Q, not to say that paper is not good. It's good for your reading. But if you are more ambitious, if you want to have a very good writing skill, read a high impact journal like Q1 and Q2. Then you can get the ideas put in your writing. So back to Dr. Balki's question just now, I think Alhamdulillah, even the 2 hours, I able to do that. I think my 2 hours I did, I really fully utilize my 2 hours very well. I don't go for much because I'm not saying I don't have time. It's not fair for me to blame the 20 hours that God give us. But then I only spent 2 hours for my writing. That's only the things that I did for my PhD. Thank you.
Can I add something on top of that?
Yes, please, Dr.
Yeah.
Azwan.
All right. So based on Balkis Ramli, right? Yeah. The question maybe I think like Dr. Dalila said, paksa diri. Okay. So force yourself. Same gives to me. Because I do believe in one word, in one sentence, quotes is something that paksa diri, lama-lama jadi biasa. Okay, so whenever you try to write something, you need to force yourself. At least in the writing, whenever in your thesis or your papers or articles, you need to have a progress. Okay, so don't need to wait. You have, oh, I am a morning person, I am an evening person, I am night person. So if you have the opportunity, force yourself, write. Okay, it doesn't matter if you have 5 minutes, you have 10 minutes, you have 2 hours. It doesn't matter. Just force yourself to write, and you need to have a progress. You must be as progressive as possible. You know, if you wait, okay, no, 2 hours not enough for me. Okay, I don't want to write. You know, like you need to have the opportunity. If you have, like 10 minutes, just try to write something. At least 1 or 2 sentences and so on. At least you have a progress. Okay, so you need to force yourself. But I do believe for those who are married, okay, or have a children, I have a huge respect for them, because they are very multitasking. Because I am a single, so I do look at my colleague that have how they manage their time and so on. So like Dr. Dalila said, you need to have a mini time. Okay, so time management as a postgraduate student, especially if you are married, is very crucial. Okay, so you don't need to use your children as the excuse. Use your children as a motivation. This is for my children, this is for my family. Okay, so I think because of my, I am a self-motivated motivated person. This is that what I'm trying to channeling to you guys. We need to force ourselves to be, a better person. If you don't force yourself, because we the only one can change our life. Yeah, not anyone else.
Yeah, kena paksa, doktor. That is important. Paksa pun it's a kind of goal as well. Yeah, All right, so I have one last question for Dr. Ben from Lim Jingyi.
Yeah.
So she asked about, I would like to ask for health sciences students. Okay, we have to deal with human subjects.
Yes.
So in order for us to collect enough sample for our research, how do you deal with the situations? When you can have enough participant, and then where it delays your progress, and it is quite stressful. How do you deal with the mental stress, Doctor?
Okay, I answer for the first one first, for the enough sample. So yeah, for health science, definitely we need to deal with human subjects. And now during pandemic, definitely we can't get the samples that we want. But then the sample size you already calculated, for example, 100, you can't change for the 100. So maybe you can continue for your data collection. And then at the same time, you try to do other objective first. For example, if you would like to develop something for your second phase or third phase, maybe you can try to brainstorm, you try to search something, and then you don't you just maintain at the phase one, the objective one. So maybe at the same time you try to do other objective first. Okay, so if got development phase, you need to try to think the development one. And then at the same time, if you really don't have other development, so you just key in the data, you just try to get some preliminary findings, and then you can publish some papers if you have some preliminary findings. So yeah, that's definitely a very challenging for us if you don't have enough sample, because if you don't have enough sample, you can't get a significant results, and then you get stressed. Okay, so that's normal. I also get stressed during my first phase because I need to recruit 250 something subjects. And then luckily I got it. Okay, so it's need times. You don't push yourself too hard. Maybe in early phase, you need to learn, and then it really takes time, I would say. And then after 3 months you still have these problems, maybe you have to call out with a meeting with your supervisor and speak to them what is the issue actually, and then try to change, is it any methods that we can you to overcome this sample size issue. Okay, whether to calculate a new sample size, or maybe we change the method of data collection or something. All right, so for the stress, definitely we have, but like I said, we need to have a work-life balance. Okay, so definitely like Dr. Siti, Dr. Azwa mentioned, so force yourself is yes, but don't force yourself too hard, because now our mental stress problem is very, the prevalence is very high. I also might have mental stress problem before, but then I try to for weekend, I try to off my laptop and then interact with my friends, my family members, to eat together, and then try to relax. And then the problems might be there, but try to discuss. We still have a team. We are not working alone. We have our supervisor team, we have our research team, and then if you have any issue, you just discuss with your team. That's the way.
Okay, thank you. That's discuss with your, if you come across obstacle, you need to discuss with your supervisor, get their tips, maybe do some revise on the method, number of samples.
Correct.
And whatnot, in order for you to progress, because you cannot stay put in one position. All right, so I hope that answer the questions to Lim. Okay, so with that, I think we have come to our end of the sessions. Thank you, Dr. Azwa, Dr. Ben, Dr. Siti, for the support, especially your support to join our forum today. It is such an heartful for me. We hope that it will be a beneficial, fruitful to all our friend, my friends, participants. Yeah. So I have one request. Can we take a group photo? Okay. So all participants, please, could you kindly open your camera but mute your mic? Yeah. So for our photo sessions today. Okay, everyone. Smile. So I don't know who's going to take a photo, but but we just smile for a couple of minutes.
Okay. Camera tu. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to all the participants, to our honorable guests for today. All right, so but don't go anywhere because we have a lucky draw after this. So so we're going to roll the spinning board, okay, to see who win the lucky draw